I'm thinking about moving in with my mom, and I think my dad will never forgive me. Hi. English is not my first language, so point me any mistakes and I will correct them. I am 22 years old, and my parents are divorced since I was 16. Their marriage was pretty complicated. When they started living together, my mom was still underage, and my dad was in his 40s. Thinking about this still creeps me out. My parents were good parents inside their limits. They weren't perfect, and I hold them accountable for lots of mistakes, but I believe they did their best for me and my brother. My mom was mentally unstable and would spank us a lot, but still was very kind, friendly, lovely, and supportive of our dreams. My dad was more of a distant guy, never played with us, worked a lot, didn't talk much. He was a provider and gave us a pretty comfortable life, but I feel he was very absent emotionally, something that he recognizes today and even regrets. As I said, they were good parents inside their limits, but their marriage was a complete disaster. The age difference was problematic, and their personalities didn't match. My mom always was a free spirit, hot-headed, with a loud laugh. She likes to trip, to know and learn new things, while my dad never leaves home and is a very cold man who never learned how to demonstrate his true feelings. I grew up and I think I saw them kissing maybe 2 or 3 times in 17 years. As a kid, I watched a lot of telenovelas, and I always found strange how my parents' marriage was different from the romances I saw on TV. A lot of intense thoughts for a little kid. When everything came apart, they were sleeping in different bedrooms for at least 2 years. My dad was very repressive with my mom about her wardrobe and the fact that she was growing her career as a decorator. He didn't want her to go to college, but she did it anyway. I was 14 years old and very proud of her, and she did not accept his bullshit anymore. He just didn't accept the fact that she was not as dependable of him as before. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my mom made her mistakes. She cheated on my dad a few times, long-distance kind of cheating, and I knew about everything. I was 12 to 13 years old at the time, and I had to keep the secret because I was too scared to do something. She even would involve me at her relationships, forcing me to bond with these men and lie for her to justify when she needed to stop talking with them, saying that she was in the hospital between life and death, that kind of thing. It was so messed up. We talked about it last year and she regrets all, what was good to hear, but I still have my grudges for that. Anyway, their divorce, finally, happened because of a supposed, at least that is what mom says, cheating. My mom was working with a guy, let's call him Frank, and Frank had a history with cheating that led his then-wife to be kinda suspicious of him. This woman, at this random day of December, stormed in her husband's and my mom's workplace, screaming that they were making out at some room of the office. She did not found nothing, because my mom was at home, having lunch with my dad. We are from a small town, and my family became the gossip of the week because of that. My dad was ashamed and asked for the divorce, blaming my mom for the scandal. She said to my dad that she never had any affair with Frank, but that she would begin a relationship with him just out of spite. Believe me or not, she did it. My mom and Frank had a relationship for 2 years after that. Till this day I wonder if they were not together all that time, but she swears that was not the case. The divorce was probably one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. My mom and my dad would fight every single day for 2 months, fighting over mobile, money, and other stuff. They would curse, throw stuff at each other, scream and all. It ended when my mother decided to move to another city, and I went with her because I needed to study for my exams to enter college. The new city had better courses for that, and my brother stayed with my dad. By the way, to this day, I don't know how I managed to enter college that year, since I was so stressed all the time. I was resentful of everyone and everything. There is so many things I am not saying, because this text is already long. But there is a fact that is very relevant for the current situation. My mom never let me grow distant from my dad. She always said that he was my dad before anything else. My dad did the exact opposite. To this day, he tries to make my brother and I cut relations with our mom, and he accomplished it with my brother. After I entered college, my mom and Frank moved out to another state. They broke up a few months after that, where she lives until this day. I began to live by myself at another city. During the pandemics, I came back to my father's house. I suffered deeply during these 2 years. My brother abused me psychologically and physically. My dad harassed me daily because of our political differences and because he didn't accept the fact that I still had a relationship with my mom. He called her the worst names, saying she was no good and that I was on her side, therefore against him, and that I was a horrible daughter for that. I managed it somehow, but it was the lowest point of my life. My depression and anxiety became worse, and I still have to deal with it. This year, I graduated college, law bachelor degree. They were all invited. My mom, my dad, not my brother, but that is a history for another day, and the whole family. Everyone attended, except my dad, because he said that he could not stay at the same place as my mom. He even said that he would not attend my marriage one day if she attended. She was willing to don't attend to guarantee his presence, but I demanded her presence. Didn't sound fair to me that she should skip my graduation party to accommodate my dad's foolishness. His absence hurted me deeply. I don't even know how to explain the feeling. All I can say is that I drank a lot at the party and started crying like a child asking for my dad, asking my friends why he was not there with me. It was horrible. My life since college ended has been pretty rocking. My boyfriend is going to study abroad. I lost my awful job and I am having a bad time finding a new one. Since then, I've been thinking about going to live with my mom. She's been suggesting it for quite a while and it sounds good to me. Her state is better than ours. I visited once and she's happy living there. However, I'm scared that this will make me and my dad part ways forever. I think he will never forget me for going away to live with her. I mean, she wronged him in many ways, and I understand his anger, especially about the infidelity stuff, but she is still my mother, and he is still my dad. Their marriage and their mistakes should be a thing resolved between them, and not extended to me as if I should pick sides. I cannot live with my mom and love my dad. After all, this is already way too long, and I will stop now. But if you guys want to know something else, I can answer with some infos. Any advice would be of help. Thanks for reading.